Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I would like to focus on creating some aromatherapy blends that will help you to relax, and these are for use in these lovely mini rollerballs, or roulettes as they are known. Sometimes we just need a short break from all of the challenges that are being thrown at us and away from all the things that are happening around us. The benefits of even 15 to 30 minutes of relaxation time can really help you. Using essential oils while you are doing this can really help you to de-stress, lower your heart rate and focus your mind so that you can come back refreshed and more resilient to cope with everything that is in your path. Using some pre-blended oils that you can easily reach for is really going to help you and support you during some of these challenging times. So let me go through how you use these roller balls. So they tend to arrive in a pack of however many you have ordered, and you get them in different colours. So you've got a green one here, a clear one here, amber glass there, and they also come in different sizes, and you can buy them for your personal choice, or sometimes it's nice to make them into gift packages and you can choose which colour you want, or a mixture. Now they do also come in different sizes, so I generally like the 10 millilitre size because that works for me, but you can get the smaller 5 millilitre size and even smaller than this if you want, and I tend to use these for what are the slightly more expensive oils that have then already been diluted into a carrier oil. So you're talking about rose or sandalwood or melissa, which you tend to purchase already diluted into a carrier oil, and then you can just put some of that in here and then keep that to hand, and you can immediately use that to dab on to the pulse points, and that's one of the great practical uses of this method. So we tend to, in aromatherapy, use 3 main pulse points, and the pulse points are where the arteries come to the surface. So the 3 that we tend to use in aromatherapy are the radial one, which is your pulse, which is just here, the carotid one, which is in your neck here, and the temporal one, which is just towards the top of the ears and slightly in. And the whole idea of these roller balls is that you would dab them or roll them over these pulse points to help you relax in this case, because the blend in the roller ball will be aimed at relaxation. The other thing you need to be aware of is how to open the bottles. Now sometimes they arrive with the stopper in them. Sometimes, for example, I've got the slightly different ones with the amber coloured, they arrive separately. But you do need to be able to take the stopper out, and most reputable suppliers will give you in the pack this wonderful tool which will enable you to do that. And you literally just slot in, obviously for smaller ones you've got different size holes there to allow you to do this, and you literally just slot that over the, push it up slightly, and when you've got it almost out you use this other part of the tool to lift it up and out. And they are quite simple to use once you've got used to doing them for the first couple of times. And one of the things that I would suggest you do if you're making more than one of these rollerballs in any one go, so if you've got 3 for example here, I would literally take the lids off each one before you start, because once you start getting oils all over your fingers, it can get a little bit challenging to work with opening these because your fingers get a little bit slippy. Hence the reason I've got a towel here to absorb some oils when I have them on my fingers. And what I'd like to do today is go through 3 aromatherapy blends aimed at relaxation, each one for the different points. Now, as a starting point, I use a carrier oil. So in this instance, we're going to start with wheat germ. And you want 10 millilitres of that. And I do tend to use the slightly more runnier carrier oils simply because they come out of the rollerball a little bit more easily than something, for example, like castor oil or thick olive oil. They tend to get a bit sticky rather than what you want, which is a smooth rolling action. So into the wheat germ, I'm going to put 5 drops of my first oil, which is lavender. And lavender is wonderful. It's has a sort of overall soothing and relaxing feeling. And it really helps to calm and stabilise the mind. So is a really good choice for when you're feeling stressed and you need to relax. Sometimes we just need to take things down a notch or 2, and lavender can really help you rapidly do that. So that's 5 drops of lavender. And I tend to always start with my middle note and then choose whether I'm going to add a base note or a top note, depending on what I'm trying to achieve. Some people prefer to do more of a mixture. I tend to always do 5 drops of the middle note and then add the combinations in. And I think for 10 millilitres, 10 drops is more than sufficient. Some people prefer to put more in, some less. It depends who you're aiming at. But I find it much more easily manageable to do 10 millilitres to 10 drops. So to the lavender, I am going to add 5 drops of neroli or neroli, depending on how you want to pronounce. And neroli has a really subtle, sweet aroma, and it's great to help balance and calm the mind. It's very commonly used to soothe during times of stress and anxiety. It's a lovely, lovely oil. And then once you're happy that has mixed together, you can choose whichever colour of rollerball you want. Going to choose the pink one in this instance, and if your hands are a little bit shaky, some of the packs come with these smaller ones, sort of like a small funnel, and you can see some of the bottles are very narrow, and the smaller funnels will fit into there, or if you have got shaky hands, slightly larger funnel will do. But if you have got a steady hand, the mixing bowls have a slight tip on the end there, which allows you to funnel into the bottle. And then you simply add your rollerball tip in, and I tend to give the rollerball a little check just to check that it is working, because sometimes they get stuck in transit, and they just need releasing with a little bit of oil that you might have left in your little jug there. So that's your first one done, and we're going to put this on the radial pulse point, and that is immediately soothing and relaxing. So lavender and neroli together. And as I said, you can keep that somewhere really handy and within reachable distance. You can take that with you and go and find somewhere to relax for 15 or 30 minutes, and that will really help you. So my second blend for relaxation is aimed at this temporal pulse point, and I'm going to start with 10 millilitres of sweet almond oil. And to that, I'm going to add the bass note ylang ylang. Now, ylang ylang has it's lovely, a sweet, exotic, floral aroma. And it's a great oil to help uplift the spirits, but relax and comfort the mind at the same time, and particularly helpful in times of stress. Now, an interesting fact about ylang ylang is that the flowers are only picked during the night, and that's to best capture their beautiful exotic fragrance. So to this, I'm going to add 5 drops of Roman chamomile. Chamomile has a wonderful therapeutic aroma which helps to calm and soothe and balance, helpful for the mind and body to relax, but it helps relieve tension and irritability. So let's just put in 5 drops. Came out very, very quickly. Right. So the odd extra drop is not going to cause a problem, but if you do put a lot more in, then you're best to restart, because you don't want to overpower the balance of what you're trying to achieve. One thing to note about chamomile is that it often is at a higher price point than your other oils. And this is because the harvesting of the small flower heads is very labour intensive, and the return or the yield is only a small quantity of essential oils, so it is often priced slightly higher. That is very nice actually. So we'll put this into one of our clear bottles. Then we'll add the stopper in. Do check that it is pushed in correctly, otherwise the lid won't go on properly and you could end up having a spilled version in your bag, which you absolutely do not want. Okay. So that brings me to my last blend, focusing on relaxation, which I'm going to use for the carotid pulse point. So let's start with apricot kernel carrier oil, and you want 10 millilitres of that. And to that carrot oil, actually it smells quite nice on its own, but to the carrier oil I'm going to add 5 drops of geranium, and geranium always gives you a bit of a hit because it's quite a powerful oil. This is a bourbon variety and it has a very fresh rose-like floral scent that is balancing, calming, and at the same time has uplifting properties, so that it can really hit you, the scent. So let's pop 5 drops of that. Ooh, count carefully there. And you immediately get the waft of that scent. Now I would mix this with the base note vetiver. Now just a note about vetiver, it's quite a thick viscose oil, so sometimes the bottle needs warming in your hands before you get the oil out. It has a rich, woody, smoky aroma, and it's a really good balance for the overwhelming, overpowering, sometimes scent of the geranium. You can see there what I mean about it's being viscose and struggling to get out. It's a much thicker oil. And because of that, I think we need to blend this one a bit more. Yes, that's better. So vetiver is very helpful in calming and balancing the mind. And it works really well with that geranium. It almost takes the heat of the geranium down to make it much more manageable. So I'm going to use my smaller funnel, as this has quite a narrow neck. And these amber ones tend to come with the top removed, so very gently have to push that in, make sure it's in firmly, just to avoid any spillages. Okay, and we were going to use this on the carotid pulse point, which is in the neck here. And just realised we didn't use this one on the temporal pulse point, so we'll just do that now. So these three, if you have them to hand, are like your helpful, supportive tools to help you to relax when you're feeling the need to do so. And I think they make a wonderful alternative to going off and having a treatment. It's almost like a mini treatment that you're giving yourself. And they can really help you and support you through those relaxation sessions. So I hope you have found some of my suggestions useful. They do work for me, so I'm happy to share those with you and hope that they will help you in times of need. So thank you for watching and sharing this with me.